Hello everyone, welcome to session number 37. We'll continue reading the play A Streetcar Named Desire, written by American playwright Tennessee Williams. So in this session we will be looking into scene number 9. We will be analyzing the major events and actions of scene number 9 in this particular session. Before we proceed with this session, let us recall and revise things we learnt in the last session, that is session number 36, where we analyzed the scene number 8. Scene number 8 is very significant in the play for the reason that it is the scene in which Stanley reveals the truth about Blanche to Mitch, which turns things up and down for Blanche. So it is with so much desire and hoping for a better future, Blanche has arrived to New Orleans, and it is in which she sees some hopes of better future. So she develops that intimacy, but unfortunately it is a short-lived one. Like most of her encounters with men, this also turns out to be a short one, and that is because of the revelation made by Stanley. But in this instance, the intentions of Blanche are totally different from earlier ones. Earlier, she seek the companionship of men just to escape from reality, but this time she is ready to accept him and to lead her life along with Mitch. That is what she hoped for, but unfortunately that came to an end because of shocking revelations made by Stanley to Mitch. We see what happens in scene number 8, that the birthday celebration is under preparation. Stella is preparing a cake and she is making all the arrangements. At that time, Stanley arrives and reveals to Stella that she has told everything to Mitch, which makes Stella very much angry because she realizes that Mitch is the only hope for her sister Blanche. On the same night, when events unfold, we also come to know that it is Stanley who goes to Blanche and reveals that he has told everything to Mitch, and that is the reason for his absence on the night of birthday dinner. So these are some of the major events which happen in scene number 8, and along with that we also looked into another important thing which happened over there. That is when Stella questions Stanley what are the reasons for which he is so much intended, he is so much convinced that he has to break the relationship of Blanche with Mitch, for which Stanley says that after the arrival of Blanche, everything has changed when it comes to the relationship between him and Stella. Earlier, he was very happy and he used to feel Stella as a woman who has accepted Stanley for what he is. But now, Stella appears to be very much complaining, and she used to make remarks on the behavior of Stanley. That is very much evident in scene number 8 when Stanley is eating on the dinner table. Stella, she makes a comment that he is not following any table etiquette and he is eating like an animal. And we have a reference where Blanche, she makes comments about his immigrant background, Stanley's immigrant background, when she says you are a Polak, okay, which means he is of Polish origin. But Stanley, on the other hand, he asserts that he is American, he is as much American as anyone else. He asserts his identity to be in the United States. And we come to know that Stanley tells Stella that now she feels that Stanley is very common. Earlier, he was like a center force and he was like the entire life for Stella, but now it is totally different with Stella. So, these are the reasons for which Stanley appears to be not at all happy with Blanche, and he wants to put an end to the developing relationship of Blanche with Mitch. So he revealed all the truth about her sordid past to Mitch, which in turn resulted in Mitch changing his mind, and that becomes evident when he makes himself absent to the birthday dinner. So at the end of scene number 8, we have another major event unfolding when Stanley and Stella they were conversing. Suddenly we see a change in Stella, and she feels and she says that she is feeling pain, she is into labor pain, and asks Stanley to take her to the hospital. So these are some of the major events of scene number 8 which we have discussed in our earlier session. So what we will be doing in this session is to look into scene number 9 of the play A Streetcar Named Desire by Tennessee Williams. So the objective of this session is to understand the plot development, major events, some important critical perspectives on scene number 9 of the play A Streetcar Named Desire. And at the end of this session, students will be able to understand the major events, and at the same time they will come up with their critical perspective on the major events. This is very significant considering the fact that one should have a Freudian approach, a psychological approach to understand the actions of the characters in the play, because most of the actions are profiled by the things which are running in their mind. Okay, so this is one important feature of this wonderful play, A Streetcar Named Desire. Okay, so we will start reading scene number 9. So what are the major events of scene number 9 that is to see now. So what happens later that evening once Stella is taken to the hospital because of the labor pain? Blanche is alone at home, and Stanley is also with Stella in the hospital. So Blanche is left alone at home, and it is the time where she breaks down completely. And we all know about her alcohol addiction, and it is her way of escapism and escape from the harsh realities, not able to face them, and again go to her world of illusion and fantasy. And that is the reason for which she has been drinking continuously. But this time, even she drinks so much, she is unable to forget her past, because the music of polka, it keeps playing or running in her mind. So the stage adaptation on this particular scene is wonderful. It is very significant for the reason that the audience, when they watch, they will get to know what is running in the mind of Blanche, whereas the other characters which appear in this scene, they will not be able to understand it. It is audience who will feel what Blanche is going through, because the music of polka is symbolic of her sordid past. It brings the memories of her dead husband, her earlier stay in Bella Rive, the way she was used by strangers and even army soldiers, how she was a kind of sexual prey for all these men. So all these events are unfolding in her mind, and she is unable to forget and come over those things. So when she has been drinking and she has given herself completely to the effect of alcohol, but still not able to forget her past, Mitch, her companion, he appears, he comes there. But what you see is Mitch is in his working clothes. He seems to be very unkempt, untidy, and it is evident that he too has been drinking. Okay, so Mitch arrives. So again, a kind of hope is kindled in the mind of Blanche, who feels that now she can reconcile with Mitch. But on the other hand, she has a fear which is running, that he knows everything because Stanley has revealed everything, but still she has a hope that Mitch can forgive her sordid past and accept her present situation. So as soon as Mitch arrives, Blanche, before meeting and talking to him, she hides the alcohol and she puts on some nice perfume so that Mitch will not come to know that she has been drinking. See, again, she is hiding her, no, hiding the truth. She is hiding herself, no, her act of drinking alcohol. She doesn't want Mitch to know that she is being addicted to alcoholism. So she hides it, puts on some nice perfume. She goes to meet Mitch, and in their conversation she offers a drink, but Mitch insists that he does not want any. So when she is about to converse with Mitch about their future, what decision they have to take, and on what mindset now Mitch has about Blanche, what you see as an audience that Blanche is continuously she is listen or she the music of polka is continuously running in her mind. So this is something which is happening. So she feels herself very terrible and she is unable to express herself because she feels that even Mitch is also hearing the same music of polka. But Mitch, when he discloses that he is not hearing anything, that music of polka, it ends as usual with a gunshot. That gunshot is indicative of her late husband committing suicide by shooting himself. So the music ends there, and she realizes that it is only in her mind that the music is running continuously, and this happens because her mind is still clinging in the past, her sordid past, and she is unable to come over it, and it is a haunting experience for her. And Mitch is not at all hearing this music, and it is only Blanche and the audience watching the play, they could hear that music. Okay, so that is indicative of her sordid past and so many troubling thoughts which are running in her mind when she is about to have a conversation with Mitch. So Mitch, while having conversation with Blanche, he says that he wants to turn on the light, and he also reveals that he has never seen Blanche in the light, but Blanche refuses to it. We all know the significance of paper lantern on the bulb. So paper lantern which makes a light very dim, which helps Blanche to hide her realities of past and also her physical appearance. So somewhere she feels that she has lost that sexual charm which she had earlier, that may in turn result Mitch rejecting her. So throughout the play, till this part of the play, Blanche always appeared in front of Mitch in a dim light. She has never revealed herself completely, so that Mitch will come to know about her present physical conditions. Okay, so he says that he wants to turn on the light because he has never seen Blanche in the broad light, okay, bright light, but Blanche clearly refuses to it. But now Mitch is a totally different person after getting to know about her past and truth revealed by Stanley. So he is not ready to listen to it, whereas Blanche, she keeps insisting that he should not turn on the light and should not tear the paper lantern. She keeps on saying she does not want realism. She says, this is a line I quote from the play, "I'll tell you what I want, magic. Yes, yes, magic. I try to give that to people." See, this is a very important statement by Blanche which reveals her attitude towards life. She says that she does not want realism. She does not want to encounter harsh realities of life. What she wants in her life is magic. So magic is something illusionary, something fantastical, which will take her away from the harsh realities. She wants magic and she asserts it by saying twice, magic, yes, yes, magic. And I try to give that to people. And she also says, it is what I want to give to other people also. It is not that I want, it is not just that I want magic in my life, but I want to give it to others also. This is a very important statement of Blanche, where she insists upon magical things in her life rather than realism. So as I have already said, Mitch is a totally different person now. He is not ready to listen to what this lady is saying, what Blanche is saying. So instead of her insisting not to turn on the light, Mitch turns on the light, and Blanche, she gasps and she breaks down again because her physical appearance is totally revealed to Mitch now, and she feels that maybe because of this, Mitch may change his mind and refuse her. But Mitch, after turning on the light and disclosing Blanche completely in that bright light, he tells her that he does not mind her being older than him. So he tells it very clearly. I don't mind you being older than me or about your physical appearance. He does not mind her pretending to be old fashioned and devoted to ideals of chastity. So he does not mind the way Blanche behaves. He is not at all complaining about her age and her way of restricting herself to old fashions and the ideals of chastity, which she is trying to project in front of Mitch. But unfortunately, it is not true. And he tells that he has heard stories from Stanley and he has confirmed them. And whatever Stanley has said about Blanche, they are not just rumors, actually, they are true. So when Mitch reveals this, on the first hand, Blanche again refuses to accept it, but finally, Blanche admits the truth about her sordid past, and she tells that after her dead husband, who committed suicide, she had intimacies with several strangers, and it is her way of looking for protection. And until she got involved with a 17-year-old boy, her student, and finally she lost her job. So she reveals the truth about her past, and she accepts that whatever Stanley has said is totally true. But the way she explains about her past in this scene is very significant to understand the psychological underpinnings of the character Blanche, how she evolved as a woman after those horrifying experiences, because life was not a smooth walk for her. She was the one who stood at Bella Rive and who took care of all the relatives, even when they are on their deathbed, and where servants are waiting for her, and even the army camp where the young soldiers, drunken soldiers, are looking for Blanche, to use her sexually, abuse her sexually. See, all these things are so horrifying for Blanche that she looked for a kind of protection and solace with these companionships, but unfortunately, she failed to secure it. And at the end, when she got involved with an affair with a 17-year-old boy in the place where she was working in a school as a teacher, she was finally fired and she was made to leave her job. And we also know about her short stay at a hotel named Flamingo, where she had many male visitors, which brought so much of ill reputation to her. So she accepts it, and she says that she had nowhere to go, and her youth and beauty and innocence were totally gone. So what was her situation earlier, that she felt that her beauty is lost, her innocence is lost because of all these intimacies with several men, and she had nowhere to go. And what is the answer to these questions? There was no answer. It is like going on doing the same thing, repeating the same intimacies with several men. That was the only thing which she did in her past. But Mitch, even after Blanche tries to say that it all happened because of her horrifying experiences in the past, it was not so intentional, Mitch repeats simply by saying that you lied to me, Blanche. Okay, that's the only thing he says. You lied to me. You could have said everything in the beginning. You lied to me. But how to understand this aspect of Mitch insisting that she could have said the truth? But if you stand at the place of Blanche, is it possible for her that she would have totally revealed her truth in the very beginning of the meeting? Unfortunately, it is not so easy for Mitch. So she tells him that yes, I might have lied outside and inside, but I have never lied in my heart. This is what Blanche says that in my heart I never lied to you, that I truly loved you, and my companionship with you was not like any other encounter. It's a pure love towards you. I was totally impressed by your gentlemanly behavior. But her, you know, image of Mitch is slowly breaking down. Mitch says that she has totally lied to him, but Blanche asserting that she never lied in her heart. So when the conversation is going on, what you see on the stage, that a Mexican woman comes by selling flowers for the dead people. So you have this reference. This thing happened when they went out, no, for a carnival. The again same thing happened when a dead man, woman, sorry, a woman selling flowers for the dead. A Mexican woman comes there, and when she hears the voice of that woman selling flowers for dead, it brings so many memories again to Blanche about her stay in Bella Rive, about her dead relatives and her sordid past. And as this woman vendor, she cries outside, Blanche remembers terrible days and caring for her dying relatives at Bella Rive. We all know in the very first scene she reveals that Stella left her, and it is only Blanche who took care of their aging relatives. So that voice of vendor, it brings in, makes her to remember the terrible days and caring for her dying relatives and changing the blood-stained sheets in her youth. Servants had waited on her. These are some haunting experiences. It is not easy for a young woman to do all these things at that age, and lonely and abandoned by her sister, that is Stella, near Bella Rive. There was a training camp for young soldiers, and on weekends, Blanche was an easy prey for these drunken soldiers. Look at this particular aspect. So, why Blanche is so scared to reveal her identity, both her past and also her physical appearance, because of all these traumatic experience which she has gone through. She was an easy prey for these young soldiers on weekends who were so drunk that they used Blanche as a sexual object. See, these experiences made Blanche even herself to think that she is an object of desire, and that too a sexual desire for many men, and that is what she has to use to make herself secure in this kind of society and in this kind of situation. So it is a totally horrible experience for her in her past, which has made her to behave in such a way where she is scared to accept the reality. She wants magical things. She wants illusionary things in her life. So Blanche, with that last ray of hope, after accepting the facts and revealing that whatever Stanley has said to him is true, she finally asks Mitch whether he will marry her. But Mitch, on the other hand, he tells her that she is not clean enough to be in the same house as his mother. See, this is a very strong statement of Mitch, something which can be taken for our discussion and interpretation, where he makes it very clear that she is not clean. She is not clean in terms of her body. So, what is important in a patriarchal mindset, that is to see women as a sexual object, and their body is seen like a battlefield. So, something wrong happens with a woman's body, it is seen as something impure, and she is not clean to stay in the same house as his mother. So he rejects it, and this statement makes Blanche to lose control on herself. She is angry, she is disgusted with Mitch's statement, and Blanche is feeling that even after revealing about the horrifying experiences, Mitch still feels and still thinks Blanche in terms of her body and in terms of her youth and beauty. So she is totally disgusted by Mitch. On the other hand, Mitch, at this point of the play, in this scene, again he tries to embrace her. She is not willing to marry her, but he is ready to again sexually involved with her. but Blanche, she totally, who is totally angry and who is totally disturbed by then. She says that he has to go out. She says that get out or she will scream. And when Mitch does not comply, she screams so loud that he leaves quickly. So with this incident, scene number 9 ends here. Looking at the critical perspectives, what you see in the beginning of scene 9, when Blanche was waiting for Mitch's arrivals, or when she was drunk and to forget her past, when Mitch arrives, we see for the first time Blanche wearing a red robe. So it is totally in contrast with her earlier appearance, because this red robe is symbolic of more dangerous sexual desire in Blanche rather than her innocent white color, as her name indicates. The other thing is the music, which keeps on playing throughout the scene. The music of polka is very much indicative of the clash between reality and illusion. That is also a very significant thing to understand in this scene. And in this scene we see Mitch, who is very much intended to reveal the truth about Blanche and to break that myth and image and persona which Blanche has created around herself. So that was also a very significant aspect of this particular scene. And the arrival of that Mexican woman, vendor woman, and her shouting for to buy the customers flowers for the dead, again is very symbolic for her sordid past. So what we see at the end of scene 9, this is very important, that after she getting rejected by Mitch, and her Mitch's remark that she is not clean enough to stay with him along with his mother, we see that gradually Blanche begins to descend into a kind of madness, into a kind of hysteria in her behavior that becomes more evident in the next scenes of the play. I hope you understood some of the major aspects of scene number 9. Hopefully it will help you all. Thank you.